case of Alex Belfield is back in court once again, but this time not in the criminal courts. Today it was in the High Court for what's referred to as a statement in open court. But you've got to watch this video till the end because there's a surprise and perhaps shocking reveal that you'll be interested in. So this case with Alex Belfield today was in the High Court with Jeremy Vine. Now the BBC's reported on this as Alex Belfield has agreed to pay Jeremy Vine damages arising out of his case against Alex Belfield in what's been referred to as a campaign of harassment. Jeremy Vine's lawyer has said that Alex Belfield made false allegations in 9 YouTube videos and 8 tweets published in 2020. The High Court was told that the posts were entirely false allegations made between May and August of that year, and that included a false claim that Jeremy Vine was seriously and demonstrably dishonest because he'd publicly and repeatedly lied about his knowledge of the circumstances in which the BBC donated £1,000 towards a memorial fund for radio executive John Myers. The court further heard that Alex Belfield had encouraged members of the public to contact Jeremy Vine during his broadcasting work and during his day-to-day life. The High Court was told that after his criminal conviction, Alex Belfield accepted that the defamatory and seriously harmful allegations of dishonesty which he made against Vine were totally false, and that he'd agreed to pay Jeremy Vine substantial damages as well as his legal costs. That's something I'll comment on in just a moment. And it goes on to give undertakings subject to a penal notice in respect of future publications and conduct regarding Jeremy Vine. Now, taking those in turn, an undertaking is a formal promise made to the court, which if broken would be contempt of court, and subject to a penal notice would mean that in breaching that undertaking could mean that he could be committed further to prison if broken that undertaking. Now, coming back to the substantial damages and legal costs, the BBC reports it as being substantial damages as well as his legal costs. Now this of course doesn't necessarily mean that it is all of those legal costs, and I would find it highly unlikely if it were to be all of the legal costs, but obviously I will reserve my comment on that further until I actually see some evidence of the same. When it comes to the damages, well, it's described as substantial damages, which is entirely subjective. In other words, a substantial damages award for one person may not be substantial to somebody else. But again, I can't comment further on that until I know exactly how much it is, at which point I will tell you, and then I'll tell you whether I think it's substantial or not in the grand scheme of things. But as promised, a little bit of a reveal at the end of this video. If you do read the BBC article, you'll probably recognise the name of the lawyer representing Alex Belfield at the bottom of that article as being none other than Mr. Alan Robertshaw, who I co-host our new channel, The Art of Law, with. So you might want to go ahead and subscribe to that channel in the description below, because you may be interested to hear on what Mr. Robertshaw might say in the round about cases like this, not obviously specifically about this. And it goes without saying that Alan wouldn't be telling me anything confidential about this case, but I am of course free to comment on it as much as I wish. In fact, even the rules allow Mr. Robertshaw to comment on the case because the prohibitions against comment to the media were lifted some time ago. That's not to say he will, and that's not to say many barristers will, and obviously no barrister is under any obligation to do so. And even if doing so, making comments to the media about cases in which they are involved, they must also be careful about confidentiality with the clients and so on. But I thought that might be interesting to some of you because many of you have asked of whether we are allowed to comment on cases with which we've been involved, and the simple answer is yes, provided, as I say, we do comply with certain restrictions of confidentiality, acting in the client's best interests, and that sort of thing. But if you are interested in the general thoughts of Mr. Robertshaw, who represented Alex Belfield in court today, go ahead and subscribe to our Art of Law channel linked in the description below. I think you'll find that somewhat interesting. And in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the like button if you haven't already done so. And I almost forgot something I was going to say, but I remembered while I was editing. Actually, 2 things. First of all, I was going to say something about the statement in open court, which is very often used by way of an apology, which is a public version of apology, which forms part of the court record. And obviously, it usually gets picked up by media, gets reported, and so on. So it's a public and formal acknowledgement of whatever the underlying settlement was, and in this case, an apology for the things that have been done. Secondly, I was going to say, make sure you check out my other channel, Black Belt Secrets, in which many of you have asked me for my personal opinions on various different things. So I've decided, rather than clutter this channel up here with personal opinions, which I don't really like doing very often, and even when I do, I make it clear that it's my personal opinion, and then you're free to disagree with it. Otherwise, it's just general legal commentary. But if you want my personal opinions on certain things, particularly with respect to, well, maybe about this Alex Belfield case, but also about the issues with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and lots of different things that have been hitting the media recently, and where these sources come from, what they really mean, what I really think of them, each of those I will probably have some thoughts on, but they probably don't belong on this channel. I won't be going pure gossip, so don't worry, but I will be giving you what I really think about certain things. In fact, I have done already. Many hundreds of thousands of you have already watched those, so thank you so much for doing that. Make sure you do subscribe to that channel. I do appreciate you helping me to grow these channels and helping me to spend more time with you, to give you my opinions, to give you my thoughts on this channel, to help you understand law, and on my other channel, to give you some more personal insight, both into these issues, these topics, and also, if you're interested in building personal wealth and success, I can help you do that as well. I can humbly say that I've been in business for many, many years. I would consider myself to be successful, and I can help you do the same. Not being condescending in any way whatsoever, but I've got lots of experience in different businesses and different professions, and I can safely say that I know how to make these things work. So do head over to Black Belt Secrets and subscribe there. I'm desperately excited about growing that channel, giving you my personal opinions, and moving that channel forward. Make sure you hit the notification bell, because there might well be further developments to this story as and when I find them out, and obviously you will be notified of those if you hit that notification bell. And in the meantime, thank you for watching.